Story 1. Listen to audiobooks. Think out loud. Sounds weird, I know, but it helps. Follow a consistent daily regimen and spend a little time alone with my thoughts and away from distractions. Story 2. The do not touch your phone, email, or social media for at least X hours after you wake up approach does wonders for helping you direct your mornings in a more productive direction. Story 3. I'm not in quarantine, but I broke my foot, so I'll call it the same thing since I'm stuck at home for 4 months. Only 2 more months to go. I decided to use this as an opportunity to learn and grow, just like you. Read 20 books, 16 since the start of January, including taking notes, on a variety of topics: finance, investing, self-help, career development, science, philosophy, etc., as well as listen to many podcasts and productive YouTube videos. Studied toward a new certification for my line of work and set to receive a pay bump by the time I return. Created a budget using You Need a Budget and organized my finances. I now have a financial plan and looked into retirement planning as well. Made my initial move into investing in exchange-traded funds and am doing some paper trading now on a few stocks I have my eye on. Read and understood all I need to know about my various insurance policies, Super, Medicare, and other important things I just had a vague idea about previously. Decluttered my phone, laptop, home office, and home. Begun learning Spanish and Russian on the Duolingo app. Bought a guitar and began learning how to play it from Justin Guitar. Set up home automation sensors, cameras, garage, wall plugs, etc. So convenient not having to get up with a broken foot. Begun tracking my mood and habits in the Mood Tracker app. Switched from doing tactical barbell in my training to doing a new bro split bodybuilding protocol just for fun. I've also bought a lock-picking set and am waiting for that to arrive so I can learn how to pick locks. And then I've continued my previous practices: cold showers, meditation, practicing mindfulness and gratitude, journaling, study and implement Stoicism and Buddhist practices into my everyday life. Then on top of all this, I still messed around and did some lazy stuff like video games, binge-watched Attack on Titan, the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe lineup, Friends, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and other content from various streaming services. Hedged, and other mindless stuff because I think it's important to have that too, in moderation. Story 4. Absorb some intellectually stimulating content. Find a few YouTube channels or podcasts that focus on education and see where that takes you. Extra History is a fun series, talking about historical events in manageable ways. Most of these are either historical instances that are glossed over very quickly in traditional education or events you might not have even heard of. I personally love the story of Archduke Ferdinand's assassination, as there were so many tiny events that built up over time before it finally blew up into World War I. Archive.org is a good place for free books, movies, resources, and more. Something to occupy yourself. I'm trying Duolingo right now. I had Spanish throughout most of my schooling, and while I remember the basic sentence structures, I've forgotten a lot. So I'm working on practicing a little each day to see if it sparks an interest in learning again. There are plenty of channels on YouTube that focus on cooking, woodworking, engineering, game design, and more. Think about something that might interest you and look for channels based on those interests. Maybe you'll find something you like. Story 5. I work out 4 days a week and run 3 days a week. I read books about war and psychology. Also, I started cooking healthier, along with drinking more water and taking walks in the evening. Story 6. Learn a new language. Duolingo makes this easier than it has ever been. Khan Academy has made learning accessible for everyone. The only one holding you back is yourself. Story 7. I joined the app Hello Talk. It's a way to chat with people and learn a new language. I really like it for 3 main reasons. I want to learn French, so I'm staying sharp by learning a new skill. I'm lonely and it's fun to talk to people. It's a way to practice social skills with new people, and you can send voice notes and things like that. You should try it. Vous devriez l'essayer. Also, unrelated to Hello Talk but helpful for staying sharp, I try to walk every day and either call someone or listen to a podcast. Story 8. I would recommend learning an instrument. I started relearning the guitar last October, and it's been a blast. I live by myself, and the sounds have kept me company. which has helped liven up my mood. Furthermore, playing an instrument is scientifically proven to maintain a healthy brain and is associated with lower risks of dementia and perhaps Alzheimer's disease. Gains. Story 9. Hobbies, man. Before quarantine, I was basically in quarantine already. My job gives me few hours, and I don't have the money to leave my house much, so I got used to the isolation. What I've learned from this, though, have a hobby and a project going in that hobby. You don't have to finish the project in a day. Learn to enjoy the process and be okay with unfinished work. You'll get there. Read. Stay off Reddit as much as possible. It sucks because it's a sink for trying to socialize, but it's really not a good substitute, and in my own experience just makes things worse, which leads me to set times to call people. I have a friend I call every week at a set time and day. It's fantastic for both of us since we both get so little socialization. Plus, our conversations about everything constantly keep us challenging our minds and worldviews. Keep your house clean if it's not tidy. Messy space equals messy mind. On that same note, make sure you keep up on your hygiene too. It's easy to feel bad when you're not physically clean. Exercise is good for the brain. And finally, video games. I personally find role-playing games and puzzle games to be great at keeping me sharp, as I have to strategize to win, and I'm a completionist, so I'm constantly looking for tasks and objects I'm missing, with the added benefit of planning my next moves when I'm not playing. Story 10. Harvard offers over 100 free online courses. You can pay a fee to get a certificate, but if you want to just learn, it's a cool way to go. Story 11. Excel and Google Sheets, seriously. Quantify your life, man. Learn the numbers and the formulas. Learn about yourself and your world in a new way. Get control of things. It's a big puzzle for your brain, and you can go as deep as you want. Bonus points for integrating iOS shortcuts and jailbreaks activator. I could go on for days. Story 12. Nate Bargatze has a bit about how he likes helping his daughter with her homework because, honestly, it wouldn't hurt for me to go over it again too. Helping mine with online school has done a lot for me. Also watching Jeopardy and stuff, as silly as that sounds. Story 13. Playing chess daily online. Learned from my dad when I was 6 or 7 years old. I quit it for a few years when I was in college but picked it up again around 4 years ago. It's a brutal grind up the rating ladder, but a very fun and addictive game indeed. Story 14. Try gardening. Get some big containers and try lettuce and herbs. I work in a garden center, and one silver lining to COVID-19 has been a renaissance in vegetable gardening. Story 15. Last Wednesday, I stormed the Capitol building. This Wednesday, I'm taking down billion-dollar hedge funds. Next weekend, I reckon I'll be driving a spaceship or doing something with murder hornets, I don't know. Story 16. Quarantine. I wish I could have had a week of that. I've been working non-stop since it happened. Get a new hobby or just a hobby. Go pick up a model kit, learn to juggle, read a piece of paper, not a screen. Story 17. Sudoku and trying to learn how to play bar chords. I bought a slow cooker too, but work gives me all the stimulation my brain needs right now. Currently, I am scheduled to work 8 days a week, and much as I love the Beatles, I do not think this was quite what they had in mind. Story 18. Funnily enough, I started taking a vitamin daily and changed up my diet a bit. I can't say which helped more, but it does help. Also, get some fresh air. Story 19. I honestly feel like I am constantly adding some knowledge in one way or another. I'm always watching documentaries, and even when I do not, I'm always Googling stuff, reading articles, sometimes extensive documents about varying subjects such as history or more technical topics. If I'm watching a documentary or even a show about, let's say, treating wood to make tools, I'll probably Google a lot about wood and tools myself. English is not my native language as well, so as more than 50% of my day is in English since I talk to foreign people and watch and read a lot of content in English, it's a constant exercise alongside my daily life. My English is far from perfect, but it's getting there, and I also have a strange interest in languages in general. I've been exploring my roots and now I'm studying Japanese, which I already knew a bit, but I'm aiming to become a fluent speaker. It might take time, but I'll give it the time needed, no rush. Also, I take remote college classes, but since the holiday came, I found myself watching content here and there, doing an online cybersecurity course, and Googling terms and concepts related to information technology because I literally love my course. I don't know, it's up to you what to do. Just go after what you've always wanted to learn, because now we have more time available for those things. Be curious. Story 20. Practicing way more guitar, teaching myself jazz theory, and making apps on Bubble. It requires no coding whatsoever and it is free. Story 21. I can't believe this isn't being said more. I have been stuck indoors for close to a full month due to a massive spike in my country and it being the dead of winter. I have done all the brain stimulation stuff, but I feel my intellectual thoughts slipping away as none of it's backed up with decent, regular exercise. The spike has dropped, the weather has improved, time to get myself somewhat into a routine again and hope that the stressful part of my brain subsides and I can think clearly again. Story 22. First and foremost, I'm getting outside and getting sunshine and exercise. Second, I'm traveling like crazy, reading a lot and watching podcasts. And because I watch podcasts and not panic porn on the news, I know that based upon the data, I would have a 0.003% chance of dying from this virus. Thus, it isn't keeping me inside, hiding under the covers, becoming fat, stupid, and lazy. Story 23. Podcasts and YouTube. If I wasn't also watching a toddler, I'd be reading too. Most anything you want to know is on YouTube, at least the basics. I mostly use it to explore as much as possible and have a wide variety of knowledge. Just look for things that are interesting instead of entertaining, and give anything a few tries before passing on it. Revisit things occasionally. Everything has depth to it, and as long as you learn something, you haven't wasted your time. Story 24. Started learning piano last month, started reading books, caught up with my schoolwork, also watched some good shows and spent time with my family, which makes me happy. Not directly making me stay sharp, but you cannot stay sharp if you are upset. Story 25. Comparing myself to everyone else as they also get dumber each day in quarantine. In all seriousness, woodworking. I already had a decent enough set of tools to be able to test my abilities. I've made a thing or two I'm proud of and a thing or three that's just laughably poor quality. Story 26. Try listening to informative podcasts. There are many great podcasts that are both entertaining and educational out there that are a blast to listen to. Check out Time Suck with Dan Cummins. He does a great job of making complex history easy to digest and fun to learn. Story 27. I have not changed anything, really. I write code, I play guitar, I play pool. I read a lot of articles and watch videos for my interests: chemistry, physics, cosmology, geology, and paleontology. The only thing quarantine has stopped is my public outings, like bowling league, pool at the bar, concerts, and eating out. I'm on Reddit way more often than I used to be. It was only an hour total while at work, and it did not exist after 5 p.m., but now that I am working from home, I go from company work to my work, and Reddit is still open. Story 28. Acquire a hobby that requires you to learn specialized skills. Whether that's working on an old motorcycle, running a web server, building model kits, or crocheting, having something that motivates you to learn will keep you sharp. Story 29. I usually try to spend my time doing things I know are relevant to my life. If I spend my time doing something I don't care about, I will forget 95% of it in a few days and feel dumb because I wasted my time and didn't learn anything. Story 30. I should read more, but I often don't get peace and quiet in my house, and I have nowhere to go to read. Read Lenin's books, read some of the stuff I've written. I can send it to you. My writings aren't much, but they're a lot more than what anyone else is doing. Bottom line. Our country and world have been corrupted by selfish bourgeois filth and greedy psychopaths. The only way to take it back is through an independent revolution and create a government built on socialist and moral principles, but it will remain as neutral and willing to compromise as possible. Story 31. Engage in thought processes. For example, the first thing you should do is ask yourself whether there is a need to be quarantined, that is, an actual virus that has been isolated as COVID. If you realize there is no virus, ask yourself if the government should be able to quarantine you whether there is a virus or not. Look at all the virus trackers and realize the cold and flu deaths are at an all-time low, in fact, non-existent on the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Look at the past and see that even with pretend deaths, if you look at all the cases, also pretend, there is a death rate of 0.09%. Maybe the colds and flus which kill people yearly are not shown because they were all attributed to a fake virus? Ask some more questions like how can I help fix our government so that it represents the people and doesn't feed constant lies to them? Just think a bit like that or on any topic, then go be a free man, put on your pants and go outside. Story 32. Podcasts. I try to listen to new ones I normally wouldn't and ended up actually liking a few. You could sneak them in while cleaning, running errands, exercising, etc. Story 33. I've been reading a bit more, and I've developed a few new hobbies. I had been investing for a few years beforehand, but I really threw myself into it, as many have. I've also been learning to draw. Not super great at it quite yet, but I'm getting there. Story 34. If you know you need to read or learn but can't get yourself to do it, I recommend a YouTube video by CGP Grey. It is called Lockdown Productivity. Spaceship You.